All right, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how I have my chest rig set up and what I carry in it. As usual, this is not to say this is how you should set up your chest rig or that I'm an expert in what you should carry in your chest rig or any of that. This is just me saying this is what I carry in mine after using it in a bunch of different ways, and this is what's worked well for me. So just a little disclaimer there to say this isn't me telling you what you should run. This is just what has worked for me. So we'll start right down here on a carabiner. We've got a pair of mechanics impact gloves. These are not your typical tactical or shooting gloves, so that you can definitely shoot in them. The reason I carry these instead of something like a shooting glove is usually if I'm wearing my chest rig, I'm doing more like camping or woodsy or bushcraft activities. And these are actually offer some protection. They're cut resistant, they're impact resistant. So chopping wood, using a knife, setting up camp, stuff like that, these are a lot more useful than a very light glove that might not stand up to those activities quite as well. Going from there, over here on the bottom, we have some electrical tape. I try and carry electrical tape on pretty much all my gear. It always comes in very useful, always very handy, just for a multitude of things. Another thing you'll notice right off the bat is I do have some spray paint on here. It's pretty faded at this point, but it was a range green rig that I just overlaid a little bit of black and a little bit of black netting spray paint onto, just to break up that rig just a little bit more. So starting over here on the left side, we do have a headlamp. This is something that I'll definitely want to upgrade in the future. Just because of the bright colors on it, I'd prefer something that didn't have all these bright colors. But the reason I'm carrying this one is because it does have a red starting light instead of starting with a white light. So for nighttime activities, you can start with that low red beam instead of going straight into your white light. But like I said, definitely something to upgrade in the future. I'd like to get rid of those bright colors, but I do like that it starts on that red beam. Also in here, we just have some face paint for those, ultra low vis LARP activities. We do have a ranging card. I can't remember who makes this right now, but I'll have to link them in the comments. Bought it off Instagram. Basically, it allows you to look at a variety of different things, like a human male, door, semi-truck, Connex, ranch fence, etc., and give you a rough range estimate on that without sending out a IR signature like say a rangefinder would or something like that. So just a handy little thing to have. And then down in here, if I can get a hold of it, it's a little easier when the chest rig's on you. This is just a VIP strobe. This has white, green, and IR strobe, and this comes in handy for a lot of things. If you're out about in the woods at night, you can mark your bag if you leave it somewhere. I can mark my coyote call. I can mark a buddy if he doesn't have a strobe. Just a lot of different things it comes in handy for. It's not anything super tactical or anything like that. It's just something that's utility when doing stuff under night vision. Right next to that, I've got a lighter. I have this wrapped in electrical tape and has a Ranger band on it. Really, the Ranger band is just an extra. Ranger bands always come in useful. And then the electrical tape is also just extra. I can pull a piece off of that, use it, or I've used that electrical tape sometimes to help get a fire going as well. Right next to that, we got one tourniquet. You can see I've got one on each side for two tourniquets. And then sometimes I'll run med over here instead of in my pack, but usually it will be in an exterior pocket of my pack that I'll be carrying with this. Over here, we've got some extra foamies because that always comes in handy. We've got a Right in the Rain notebook and a couple Right in the Rain pens. Also, something that's always very handy to have. Taking notes is always useful. I'll a lot of times use it for making notes on my gear in the field of what I'm using, what I wish I had, etc., etc. In here, I have some batteries. and you can see that I electrical taped that shut so it didn't open on me. And then I also put a little piece of paper in there just so those didn't rattle around when I'm running around. Also in here, just a little like lens wipe for scopes or for your iPro. Right next to that, we've got a Leatherman multi-tool. Again, a lot of times when I'm using this rig, we're doing woodsy type things, making shelters, all that kind of stuff. So Leatherman is very useful to have, a necessity on any kit, I would say, in my opinion. Right next to that, we've got a Glock 19 magazine. Pretty standard stuff. Over here, we do have my compass, and that is tethered to the rig so that cannot be lost, but it is on a long enough tether so that I can lay it on my map and use it freely without having to take it on and off. So there's that. We set another tourniquet. Right here is another lens cloth, just for quick, easy use in the field. And again, that comes in very handy if you're out in rain or snow, just to wipe your iPro off or your scopes or whatever you need. Over here, just a surefire handheld light, because lights are always important. And again, I have that tail cap backed off enough so that I won't have a white light ND with this, but if I take it out and need to use it, I can just give that a crank, hit it, and it'll be good to go. And then over here, we do have my Baofeng UV5R, which again is something that I want to upgrade in the future. But it does work for now. In here, I've also got my cable so that when I'm using this mic, and if I would like to hook it up to the EarPro that I have either on my helmet or just standalone EarPro, I can run that from here on this mic into that EarPro, and all the sound will go to my EarPro instead of just out of the shoulder mic. Not a great comm setup. I'm not recommending that comm setup, but it's what I've got right now, and it works. It's sufficient for the time being. So we're running 3 mags, and I'm using the Stanag mags just because they sit a little bit lower in the rig. So those work great for me. Inside of here, I am running Haley Strategic Kydex inserts so that I could get rid of these pull tabs. I really hate pull tabs on my gear. They always get in the way. I'm not a fan. So I did run those Kydex inserts down inside of there, and that seems to work great for these. I've had no issues with that. Over here, I do have my SE4, I believe it is. Yep, SE4. Great little bushcraft and survival knife. Yeah, it works really great. And then back in here, I do have my maps of the last area that I was in. And then I have a emergency poncho. And then I think that's all that I had back there. Yes, it is. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm carrying in my rig. It's more sustainment aimed than, say, my plate carrier, because obviously if I'm doing my chest rig, I'm probably out hiking, I'm doing things in the woods and stuff like that. It's definitely aimed at being able to somewhat sustain me for, 1 or 2 days. And then again, this would obviously typically be accompanied by a pack or a ruck or whatever I'm doing or whatever I need based on what I'm doing that day. So again, this is just to give you a rough idea of what I've been using and what has worked for me. This is not me telling you, you must have all of this in your chest rig, or if you have anything else, you're wrong. This is just what I run. A lot of people, some people would question the amount of mags that I'm carrying. They would say I should carry more. Usually I will be carrying more ammo in my pack for reloading those mags, or maybe more loaded mags in my pack. But again, this rig is really not aimed at a combat load. It's really aimed at just being able to do recce stuff out in the woods. So it's really aimed at that. Also, you'll notice I don't have any water in this rig, but again, I'm going to be carrying all that water in my pack. And usually I'll have a couple water bottles in my cargo pockets or in a holder on my belt, something like that there's just not a great way to carry water in this particular rig. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you have any advice for me on how you would change this, you know, I'm always open to constructive criticism. Until then, you know, I'll catch you guys in the next one.